Hi, I'm Don Bowman, and this is VoiceOver Full Disclosure. I'm glad you're here. Today is October 31st, and today I'm going to talk to you about my rates. This is a scary subject for a lot of people, okay? And for good reason. If somebody's rates get out about, hey, wait a minute, you charged this client this rate, and now you're asking me to pay this amount? Or, hey, this is what you charged them a month ago. Can I do that now, or have you raised increase? Why did you do that? Why did you increase your rates, or why are they decreased? Are you giving away discounts? And we'll address that. The main topic here is consistency. Be consistent. Have a reason for why you charge what you charge. And be consistent across all your platforms with it. Fiverr, Upwork, all these different things, or just going on Twitter and finding stuff. Be consistent. These are my rates as of today. They may change, and let's get into it. Stick around. Okay, here we go. Today's disclosure is about my rate sheet. I'm not afraid to let people know publicly that this is what I'm charging my clients, or at least this is where I'm starting. For professional platforms like Bunny Studio and Voquent, those sites have weeded out the voiceover talents that either can or can't, be on their site. They only have the best talent on their sites. So for platforms like that, my professional platforms are going to be as follows. I got a per hour rate, which is $60 per hour of live directed session, minimum 1 hour session. If we go over by 5 minutes, I'm not going to charge them an extra hour. But if we do like an hour and a half, that's 2 hours. But there's also a $25 setup fee. Both my hourly rate and my setup fee are pretty low compared to other voiceover talents out there. So for 1 hour session, it would be $85, which includes that setup fee. And then a standard per word count as follows. It goes, under 10 words, 10 to less than 50, 50 to less than 100, 100 to less than 500, and then so on, as you can see on the screen. And then I have an area for how many seconds it might be. This is a calculation of, how fast I read. I read at a pace of, 150 words per minute. That's kind of the average what people get. So I put that in parentheses on the side to sort of let myself know as I'm calculating the rate, and so I can inform the client, hey, this is about how long this might take. But I also have a spreadsheet to calculate these things in a little more close detail. I'll show you that in a little bit. So as you can see, as the word count goes up, the price goes down per word. I sort of give them a break. It's kind of like buying in bulk. All the way down here at audiobook, 3 cents a word. That's what it calculates at. And as you can see, each color has a corresponding area across my 2 documents I'm going to show you. Audiobook, $270 per finished hour, approximately 3 cents a word. But then I also do some royalty share, and then there's royalty share plus, which is a lower percentage of royalty share, and then sometimes, most oftentimes, a lower percentage of per finished hour rate. And this is that. $220 per finished hour plus royalty share of royalty share plus. Now, character voices. For just regular character voices on professional platform, 20 cents per word, or $30 per minute. Now, the reason I do $30 per minute is a lot of times the client doesn't want a whole bunch of words. They want sounds. They want an exasperated sigh, or just a bibble babble of, oh my God, and or sometimes roars and growls, right? And things that don't necessarily correlate to a certain amount of words. So I have a per minute rate sort of right there. That is if we're not doing a live directed session, of course. If I'm matching lip flaps, that's 50 cents a word. It's a lot harder to do. All right. The next section is for like commercials. This is full broadcast buyout rights for 6 months. There's ways to do it for just 3 weeks or 13 weeks or, a certain period of time. I say, you know what, I'm just 6 months. You get 6 months. This is, This is my rate. We'll make it simple. National TV, national radio, regional TV, regional radio, city TV, city radio. As you can see, as the prospective audience gets smaller and smaller, my rates get smaller and smaller. That only makes sense. If you're advertising a product and you're going to play it, especially, more than once, and a whole bunch of people are going to see it, imagine all these potential clients, they're going to buy your product or service, and the voiceover talent should be paid accordingly. They do the same thing for the animation that goes for that kind of thing, the music, audio, these sort of services. For commercials, for these full broadcast things, that's what they charge a lot as well. If we're buying out in perpetuity, that's a different discussion that we can have later. But a lot of my stuff is indie projects. In fact, most of it is. So that's 3 cents per word for like narrations or character voices and sounds, 10 cents a word or $15 a minute. As you can see, that's half of what I charge for like regular folks, and it's still a pretty low rate either way. I have animation and video game character voices, $2 per line, $20 minimum. So here's that $2 per line and 10 cents per word is the same. Depending on how we want to charge, that's how we're doing it. What I do when I get a character and, how many lines, they have or how many words, I take that script and I put it into a, Google Docs document just like this. Brand new, no formatting, no special text or size or anything like that. And I paste it in there and then I do a word count. And that tells me how many words are on the page. And I do that just for the script. And I figured out that when I do that, for one line from one side to the other, that's 19 to 20 words. So 10 cents a word or $2 per line match up pretty evenly. And I do this because suppose each of these colors is a different line. The first line only goes halfway, the second line takes up half a line, and then another half a line, and then the third line takes not even a full line, maybe. For something, again, on a case-by-case basis, I would usually say, okay, if this is happening once at one point in the story, this is happening at a different time, and this is happening at a different time, I might say, okay, those are 3 separate lines. But if it's a long monologue that takes a big paragraph, I'm doing per word on that. And so I'll sort of judge how the project is going to go and sort of what I'm going to charge. Here are 2 examples of an invoice template that I could use moving forward. One of them is directed from I actually got this second link here from the VAC Indie Rate Guide, and I'll show you that here in just a moment. But first, let's get into a calculation document. You're more than welcome to make a copy of this document and use it for your own purposes. And so it's basically pretty simple. I can type in, a random, whatever number the client says, this is how many words I'm doing. And then it spits out a calculation of, how much that will cost per word of each individual one, but it also gives a quick project length estimation on the side. So I had a client recently, I talked about, for 10 minutes, I haven't, this other part over here. Okay, 10-minute script. How long is that? How many words is that? That's 1,500. So he said scripts might take, 10 minutes in length. And I said, okay, so that's my 3 cents a word, price range. Or really, it's in my higher price range, but this is sort of an indie folks, an indie client. So I put in 1,500. I mean, it's the same stuff over here, but this is just for easy. Okay, 1,500. It takes 10 minutes. I told him that, and I said, 3 cents a word is $45. He said, well, actually, I'm doing each script is more than that, and I'm only willing to pay $10 per word. I said, okay, how long is your script? And I can tell you how long it is. And he says, all right, some of them are 2,000. So I typed it in and I said, okay, that would be $60. This guy is not going to pay $60 per. He wants to pay 10. So I said, okay, what if we make it instead of, and this is as low as my rate sheet goes, so I had to make extra columns just to figure this out. What about 2 cents a word? $40. That's still too much for this guy. He says that if I'm saying I can read 2,000 words in 10 minutes instead of 13 if I read it fast. And it's for a YouTube video. A lot of YouTube videos, they need you to read a little bit faster and more excited and that kind of thing. So, okay, so 40 is too much for him. Let's drop it down to 1 cent per word. 1 cent. All right, again, 2,000. We were at $60 per. And I said, my God, you can't do it for a penny per word. He goes, well, I charge per project, so I can't do that. And I said, all right, what is the most you'll pay? He says, $10 a script. So for 2,000, he said a lot of times the script will go over 2,000 words. But if it's right at 2,000 words, less than half a penny per word. And here's the thing. I don't have any work going on right now, this second. I don't have any clients waiting on me to finish a product. I have time to take that kind of job right now. I have to let them know, hey, this is going to be a rushed job. It's, I'm really reducing my rates for you on this. This is maybe a one-time thing, but I have no other work going on right now. Now, if the time it takes for me to do projects like this starts cutting into the amount of time that I'm auditioning for things and marketing and applying to, representation at a talent agency, then that's obviously taken away from that. So this neat little document goes all the way through here, and it shows the audiobook per finished hour sheet, and also has this sheet, the second sheet here, which sort of goes into a quick little detail about, okay, here's what happens when we switch over from the different sections. Take a look at the, less than 100 section. It goes from darn near almost $50 to $20, but it's a whole wide range of section. And I discuss with a client, if I say, oh, now hold on, your rate is 99 words. If you add one more word, then I'm going to give you a cheaper amount. It usually doesn't come down to that. There's usually not this part. And then sometimes I make a medium in between. I say, all right, we'll do 30 cents a word, or I'll just say screw it and I'll say, okay, fine, 20 cents a word, easy day. But I've noticed that most of the projects for, less than 100 words are promotional things that are going to bring that company business. And so the price needs to be a little bit higher anyway. Next, I'm going to show you where I get these things from. First, I'm going to show you voices.com. Rate sheet. Just Google it, and it pulls it up, right? This is where I was told, hey, this is where you start. Non-broadcast jobs, this is everything I talked about that wasn't like advertising. 0 to 2 minutes, it's that price. The more time you go up, okay, they're calculating by minutes. My sheet shows a different way, but as you can see, for 2 to 5 minutes, like $250 to almost $500. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at my rate sheet. Let's see, 5 minutes. 5 minutes isn't much time. Okay, so that is the 500 to 999 words. And so we'll just type in right in the middle, we'll just say like, it's already there. Okay, 700 words. And we said that was which section? 10 cents a word. I am charging $70 for that. And here at voices.com, the low end is $250. Oh, they even have a little word count thing. Okay, the low end of that is $250. I am not going to ask somebody $250 for something like that. You know, I tried using those at the beginning and I got nowhere. I got laughed at. So maybe once I get an agent, maybe once I start getting work on voices.com, maybe once I start getting more work, Bunny Studio, like my rates are going to go up. Like I said, these are my rates right now. Take a look at their broadcast. They do 13 weeks, a year, perpetuity. It gets more expensive the more the client will see it. All right, moving on. Let's do another search. VAC Indie Rate Guide. Voice Acting Club. All right, the Indie Rate Guide is pretty awesome. Per hour, they have this suggested. Now, these, again, for indie projects. Indie, this isn't big, big studio stuff. The high end, $250 per hour. That's the suggested. I just can't do that right now. I can't. No one's gonna hire me. So I chose for the low end. The per line rates tells you right here. I'm in the low tier. It has $2 per line. The suggested minimums are here. I usually have a $25, $30 minimum, depending on the client, kind of what they need. But yeah, per word rates. As you can see, the 10 cents a word sort of lines up pretty easily to the per line rate. So yeah, this Indie Rate Guide is a good guide. This is sort of what I base my rates off of. This is what I will be doing in the future. Now, right now, I don't pay for voices.com. I'm not a paid member. I don't do any paid play sites right now. And so I'm not paying for the overhead, the $500 a year or whatever that people pay from voices.com or voices123 in these sites. So I don't charge as much. So that's part of one of the reasons. I do all the marketing myself. Okay, so those are my rates. I hope this video helped you. I hope you found this interesting. And I hope one day my rates will go up and I can start making some real money doing this, because man, it's a lot of work. Okay, and I wish you all the best in your journey as well. And I hope that this can become a discussion. Tell me what you charge in the comments below. If you'd prefer not to, that's fine. It's completely reasonable. A lot of people are cautious about talking about money and how much they charge, and for good reason. Me, I put full disclosure out there. So yeah, these are my rates right now. Moving forward, it might change. If you like this video, hit the like button, and I'll see you next time.